My name is Gloe, and I'm running for re-election to the Moorhead School Board.
What are the most important issues in your race?
I think the most important issue, if I'm just going to pinpoint one, is the increasing needs of the students and the families that we're serving. And I think that all of my ideas for how to serve that, to your next question.
Which is, how would you address them?
Yeah.
How would you address that issue?
So my number one priority would be to do a better job supporting teachers. I feel like every year we ask them to do more and more with less and less, and educational outcomes are going to start falling through the cracks. So I'd like to see more counselors, more social workers, more grown-ups in our buildings. I would also like to explore what transitioning Moorhead area public schools to a full-service community school model would look like. Now, full-service community school is a model that's being done across the United States and in several places in Minnesota. And the idea is that you do a needs assessment for the families of each school building. You find out what the biggest needs are for the families in those buildings, and then you partner with agencies who are already providing those services and bring them into the schools. So the school buildings then are no longer just a place you drop your kids off to go to school, but they become community centers. So now we can serve students, we can meet some more of their basic needs that are going unmet, but we can also serve their families, their parents. This brings parents and community into the schools, which means more people are involved in the educational system, which means outcomes go up. The places that are doing this and doing it well are seeing, graduation rates go up. They are seeing the opportunity gap go down. They're having lots of great success. And so I think that this is a model that would work here, because there are lots of agencies, providing really great services if we can just be a facilitator to connect them.
And what differentiates you from your opponents, and why should someone vote for you?
So I want to first say that the quality of candidates running for this particular position is pretty outstanding. I have a lot of respect for all of the folks who are running. I can tell you that what I bring to the board is like a nice mixture of some experience with still some freshness, right? I was elected last year in a special election. I've served on the board for 1 year. So I have enough experience under my belt to have an understanding. I've heard that the learning curve, I've heard it described as drinking from a fire hose, and I definitely feel like that's been my experience. So I have a little bit of that under my belt, but I haven't been there so long that the justification of this is how it's always been done is something that, kind of matters to me. It doesn't. I want to do what works, regardless of whether or not we have always done it. So there's that. Also, I've campaigned for this spot 2 years in a row now, which means I have, I've hit the pavement, I've knocked on doors, I've talked to the residents, and in the future, in the very near future at Moorhead Area Public Schools, we're going to need someone with who's going to do that kind of work again when the special election comes around to approve the bond for whatever the decision is for the new high school. So there are things that we need to consider beyond just like, I feel like I've gotten a lot of great things done this year, but also who's going to do that work for the school district when it comes up.